Hey there, so I want to just talk a little bit about fundraisers. There's a lot of information, so I thought maybe if I just made a quick little video, it might be easier than writing all of the information down. First, probably the most commonly asked question about fundraisers is how does the organization get their funds? It all is individually based. It depends on each individual consultant. You work with the organization and you come upon an agreement of how much your commissions you are going to donate to the organization or to the individual that you are having the fundraiser for. So Sensi is not sending this organization any money. It's simply your commission that you earned from the sales of that fundraiser. Now, a lot of people will be like, oh gosh, I don't know if I want to give up my funds, my commission. The way I view fundraisers is I look at it as advertising. I get to associate my name to a great cause, and I get to reach out a whole lot of people that I never would have been able to if I didn't have this opportunity to do this fundraiser. So to me, giving up my commissions is a great way for me to get my name out there, to get my name associated with a really good cause, and to really build up my contact list and customer list really fast. So that's kind of like the trade-off for doing a fundraiser, for giving up your commissions. Also, keep in mind you're going to be considered the hostess of this party, so you are going to be getting those free and half price items, and it's completely up to you if you want to use those free and half price items to build up your inventory that you can then sell at full price, or if you want to give the organization even more funds, you can use those free and half price products and purchase products that are being purchased through the fundraiser, what customers are wanting, and using those for the free and half price items. So then those products that they paid full price for, you are using those funds to give back to the organization so that you're giving them even more money. So you really get to work with the organization. You get to really tailor the fundraiser to what they want, what you would like to give to them. And I've done fundraisers in all sorts of avenues and all sorts of different groups. You can run a fundraiser in really large groups. I've done large schools where there's 550 students, and I've done individual fundraisers where it's just one student who's trying to earn funds to go overseas for an overbroad experience. So there's so many different organizations that you can work with, and there's so many different ways that you can set up a fundraiser. And you get to work with the coordinator, and you can decide what type of fundraiser would work best for that organization. I have done lots of fundraisers where we actually hold a home party. Everything is the exact same except for on the invitations, and when the hostess calls the person, they let them know that this party is actually going to be a fundraiser for whatever it is. If it's for their child to go to camp or whatever that reason was. How I run it differently for doing a fundraiser as a home party, they are not really considered the hostess. They are not getting those free and half price products. You can offer them if you want that. Or I like to use those rewards kind of as little thank yous for everybody who's supporting the fundraiser. But it's completely up to you. You can decide how you want to run it if you choose to do a home party based type fundraiser. Other types of fundraisers are like the traditional fundraiser where you are putting together packets of information and other people are going out and collecting orders for you. You can offer the whole entire catalog for the fundraiser. I would recommend, if you want to offer all of the products for the fundraiser, that you purchase the product sheets. I would not give out a full catalog just because it is very costly depending on how many participants you have. Obviously, if you have 500 students that are doing a fundraiser, you would not want to give a full entire catalog because that would just be way too costly to do it. And I would recommend, if you wanted to offer the full catalog, to use those product sheets as an inexpensive way to let people know what they can purchase. For me personally, I look at the age of people who are going to be taking the information home and who is going to be talking and selling the products. A lot of people, if they've never heard of Sensi, I don't use the full catalog because I think it's overwhelming. There's just simply too much products in there, and I like to narrow it down. The easier and the simpler you can make the fundraiser and make the purchase selection for people participating in the fundraiser, the more successful I think your fundraiser is going to be. So you can narrow down the products. If you still want to offer warmers and wax, narrow down the selection. You can create your own sheet of what warmers you want available and what fragrances you want available. You can narrow it down to simply just products if you want to do Scentsy Buddies, if you want to do the Buddy Clips, which I would recommend doing Buddy Clips as our Scentsy Buddies. They're a great fundraiser. The only thing is that they can sell out. And that's the danger of offering any limited products. If you're going to do the fall, the harvest collection or the Halloween collection or Christmas collection, you want to let people know that there is a chance that these products could sell out because they're while supplies last. So if you offer anything in the catalog, you know that you are safe. There may be back-ordered items, but you know that those products are going to be coming. So a Buddy Clip is really going to be a simple fundraiser that you could do. There's 4 options. They don't even have to choose their fragrance because the fragrance is already in them. So they just simply have to choose which buddy they really like. So really, really simple fundraiser that you could offer right there. The Scent Circle fundraiser, that is one that I've had huge success with, and that's the one that I would use for my large schools. And I would simply narrow the fragrance choices down because again, 80 fragrances is so overwhelming for people. So narrow it down. I usually give them about 10 to 12 choices, and on the information sheet that they send home, I send home with each child, I would have a packet of information, so and a collection envelope on the outside that has the student's name with the teacher and all of the instructions of how to collect the orders, how to run if there's shipping or if there's tax going on. You're lucky that your tax is already included in that portion, so you don't have to add that extra step into collecting the orders. But then I would also have an information sheet inside the envelope that would talk about the product that we were selling and then the description of each fragrance that was available for their choice, as well as order sheets, as well as a tally sheet, just to make it really simple. So at the very end of the fundraiser, they could just tally up exactly how many fragrances of each scent circle, and also a way of collecting the funds, how they were collecting the money. So whether it was a credit card or cash or check, for each person, and then details of when the fundraiser was going to close. I would also include on my sheets that anybody could purchase online, and they could purchase any product. The whole entire catalog was available online for them to purchase, and many times over all of the different types of fundraisers I've done, I would have a lot of people who were really familiar with Scentsy and they would want to order different items, and they would call me up and ask if that was okay, and it's totally fine if it's fine with you. I always okayed it, but I was always nervous when they wanted to have warmers and I was doing a scent circle, because I don't want a child to have to bring home a warmer to be delivered to a customer. So I would work an arrangement out with that customer individually so that they could still support the fundraiser, but that a child's not taking anything breakable home. So you kind of want to look at your audience. Who is going to be receiving these? Who's going to be collecting these orders? Obviously, it's going to be the parents working with the children, but when the orders come in and you take it to the school or to the preschool or wherever it's going to be distributed, who is going to be packeting those orders to the customers? So that's something I always like to keep in mind with the Scent Circle fundraisers. The reason I loved them, it's most an inexpensive product, and I do know a lot of organizations, they wanted, well, let's sell the bigger product because we can earn more commission off of it. With the smaller offerings, like with the cheaper products that we offer, anything in a 6-pack, you're going to, if we combine them as a 6-pack, and if we charge the customer each individual price, so we're not giving them that free product, so they have to purchase, say, a scent circle individually. So if they were to buy 6 scent circles, it's going to cost them each individual price. They're not going to get that free product. But when we enter it into the system and we're going to get that free product, so we're going to get that extra money that somebody had paid for, and we're going to turn around and we're going to give that money to the organization. And that's a way that they can get a greater price point for a smaller product versus having to sell a warmer where if you think about, little children carrying these great big bags of warmers to distribute versus, a small slender package of scent circles. It's much easier for little hands to carry those. And so it actually works out pretty evenly by selling those smaller items, and you can have many more people buy one scent circle as opposed to people looking at a warmer price and them automatically discounting even participating in the fundraiser based upon the price. So that's why I like to offer smaller priced items for fundraisers, is because it's more appealing to everybody. The price range is acceptable to most people and they're willing to support it. Again, with fundraisers, depending on how you want to market it and who your group is, if you have a large audience participating, I always like to give rewards because I want everyone to participate, even if it's just selling one product. It really can add up to have a great total at the end. So when I do fundraisers for large schools or for softball teams or any sports teams where there's going to be, quite a few participants, I always offer some sort of incentive, some sort of reward. So I always will do, the top sales. If it's a large school, I'll do the top boy and girl sales. But then I want to really encourage everyone else to participate, because a lot of people will already say like, oh, I'm not going to be able to be the top seller. I don't know that many people. And a lot of people just already discount it, and so they don't even want to participate in it. And where you have those other people who are gung-ho and they want to win everything, they want to be that top seller. So appeal to everybody. And I always say anybody who participates in the fundraiser will get their name in for a drawing. And then I do some sort of little more additional incentive. So if I'm doing the scent circle, anybody who sells 6 scent circles will get their name in for a drawing again. So it's more work for me because I have to count up how many scent circles they get, but it's an incentive for people to kind of keep pushing. And my prizes that I always give for fundraisers are the Scentsy Buddies when the fundraiser is geared towards youth or towards children. They simply just love the Scentsy Buddies, and I just simply will either use the half price and the hostess rewards from that fundraiser, or else from previous fundraisers or previous events that I have done, and I just have a collection of them. So it's not really costing me a lot, but it's an incentive enough to get those participants to want to really work the fundraiser. Other ways with the fundraisers, so with the Scent Circle fundraiser or the Car Bar fundraiser, there's some sheets out there. They're all different and talking about how much to give back to the organization. And you would just want to maybe make it personal, work it out, see if you're comfortable with giving that much of your commissions away. I always recommend people to keep part of the commissions for yourself so that you are covering those outstanding costs of creating the packets put together. Also, you work with the organization. You want to make this beneficial for them. I've had organizations that I've approached and they really want to do Scentsy, but I can only offer, if I am offering all my commissions 25% or 30% commission if I do over 2,000 PRVs. And I always give that option to my organizations, that if they reach a certain level of sales so that I'm over 2,000 PRVs, then they can get an extra 5%, so that they know there's 2 price points that they can earn. But I was competing with companies that were offering 50% commission, and so I needed to make myself be able to stand with these companies. And so that's when I started doing the Scent Circle fundraisers, and I found that if I used all of my free and half price items, I was able to offer 50% commission, because all of those funds that are coming in at regular price, I was turning around using for free and half price and giving that organization all of those funds that would have gone towards those customer orders. So yes, I was not earning anything, but I was able to stand with those other companies that were offering 50% commissions back to make it feasible or make it a valuable time for the big schools to do that. So that, again, that's just something that you can look at and see if you want to do. So really with the scent packs or with the with the car bars, with the scent circles. You can do it with scent packs. You can do it with the Scentsy 6-packs. You can do it with the room sprays. Anything that is a buy 5, get 1 free product, you can work this fundraiser and give the organization more because you are ordering that 6th product for free, and a customer has paid full price for that. So you're using those excess funds to give back to the organization. So I'm hoping this makes sense. I'm kind of really talking about it really fast, and we can break it down even more simple once you decide if that's kind of the route you want to take. One thing to keep in mind, every country poses challenges because every country has something different with our products. In Australia and New Zealand, where you have your taxes already included in your products, you do not want to be giving commission. So say if you are giving 30% to the organization, you want to make sure that you're not giving 30% of the funds that are being taxed as well. So you want to work with your organization and let them know your tax is already included in the product, so the organization's not going to be getting a percentage of the tax that is on there. So if that makes sense, I hope I'm explaining that correctly. So it's just kind of working with the numbers and talking about it so that you want to be giving the commissions based upon the actual product, not the tax, not the GST that's already included on there. And then you'll want to figure out what the shipping cost would be, which would just be simple. If they're just getting a scent circle, you would just figure out that 10% because you are going to be placing this all as party orders, and you're going to make sure that you have enough orders to get those to get that discounted shipping. So you would just include the shipping prices in there, and you can either run that either way. You can have a disclaimer at the beginning saying what the price is and say that it includes GST and it includes the shipping price as well, or you can at the very bottom have what everything is with the GST and then ask them to include what the shipping would be. Simply, I think it's easier if you do the shipping for them, so it's one less step for them to have to figure out. So I feel like I've just really rambled on about all sorts of different fundraisers, but you can really work each fundraiser for the organization that you want. You tailor it to what their needs are, and really, I wouldn't keep a fundraiser open longer than 2 weeks. That's always the time frame I let them go because there's always going to be stragglers bringing it in. And so by the time you really collect the last orders, you're getting into 2.5 weeks. And then you can set the orders, place them. The orders come to you, you bag them. And that's where I like to put all of my information. I talk about hosting a party. I talk about joining my team, put in my little specials that I have, anything that I can to get them to come back to me as their consultant. Also, on the fundraisers, you want to make sure that you say that it is available to purchase online as well. So everybody who has your information packet, they can tell their friends and family that they can purchase the products online, and that's the whole entire catalog that they'll be able to purchase, and the products will simply go straight to them as well. One other thing to mention is I always let my organization know that they can get their funds on the 15th of the following month of when we close the fundraiser, because we get our commissions on the 10th, and that gives me time to get the money into my bank account, and then I can write them a check on the 15th of the prior month after we have closed the fundraiser. So I hope that makes sense. I really went fast. There's so many different ways that you can work this. And there's lots and lots of resources out there. So I hope that this was somewhat helpful. And please, if you have any other questions, write them down. We can do a meeting, a call on this, a training call specifically on fundraisers as well. So wish you all the very best. Bye-bye.